Let's put these two Monstera Adansonii onto Coco Coir poles. Just like I have already for my Begonia maculata. I am going to use these Bendy Coco Coir poles. You can turn them into whatever shape you want, and you don't have to worry about adding on and upsizing because you can make it taller as the plant grows. I am putting them on Coco Coir poles for two reasons. Firstly is because they have outgrown the little trellises I have them on. They are both just clipped on. And secondly, because they have both started to put out these runner shoots. You can see the plant is quite bushy here, but there is no foliage growing along this length. This usually happens if there is a lack of sunlight. These little runners are trying to reach for the sun. These were both originally propagations, which I transferred to soil. They're growing so well that they need more space. This one was two cuttings, which I've planted, and they are both growing. This one is still fairly bushy and happy, but this one obviously was not getting enough sunlight. So I'm going to tie them both to the pole. This one is a single, and you can see it is a very long and has quite the long runner going out, which is not what we want to see. We like a nice bushy Monstera. Let's fix it. I'm just going to push the end of the Coco Coir pole straight into the soil here. Easy. And then I'm going to bend it into the shape that I want, and then I'm going to attach the plant with string. Just going to wrap it around a little. And then I will get the second one in place as well before I tie anything on. That looks pretty cute. I'm going to secure it with some string now. Some of the roots will grow into the Coco Coir pole, but it is not the same as a moss pole. I prefer these because they are much lower maintenance and they provide support for your plant without being permanent. You don't have to worry about keeping them hydrated. Very easy to take them on and off as well if you no longer like the look or need a bigger one. And of course, I'm going to chop off this long runner. I will propagate it, of course. Okay, I did fuss a little more and I'm now happy with how this one is looking. There is some of the foliage which is facing the wrong way because of how it was on the trellis before, but Monsteras are one of those plants that the foliage will turn towards the sun, so ignore the snoring dog. So these should all be facing the same way shortly. Now let's do the second one. I like it organic but also still semi-upright. Good. That was satisfying. I might wrap this one a little bit more around the pole or tie to the outside. We can figure it out as we go along. Actually just going to use a clip for this one. I'm tempted to cut this as well, but I'm not going to. I'm very snip happy. It's too much to work with. Let's chop it now. Bye. Oh, I want to chop this one so bad, but I won't for the sake of the video. Okay, so we have our two both on Coco Coir poles now. I like this one a lot more because it is a lot fuller. the leaves are bigger, and there's also 2 main stems, making this one look nice and bushy. This one is a little bit scrawny, but I'm going to put her somewhere much sunnier, or possibly under a grow light to help these leaves come in fuller as well. Now that I'm looking at them, I definitely could have repotted these together and made a very tall and bushy Monstera Adansonii, but I'm not gonna do that now. So I'm gonna miss them because it helps with the roots, which can attach to these poles, just won't grow into it. It also raises the humidity a little bit, and I enjoy doing it, so let's do that. I love misting. It is so calming and makes the plants just glow. For these little sad stringy bits, I am going to water propagate them. You can see there is little leaves that are trying to grow, but they just weren't getting enough sunlight the way they were on the trellis with too much foliage on top. So I'm going to cut these up more. Let's get this out of my face. When you're propagating Monstera, any Monstera, you want to include nodes, which are these little bumps. You can see them all the way along, as that is where your roots will grow from. Again, you can see them along. So this bottom bit you can cut off because no roots are going to grow below that node, and they might just rot in the water. Again, all of this is stem that won't root and also won't produce any foliage, so I'm going to take one cutting from this one. So I've got the nodes and a tiny start of a leaf there and up here. So again, just below the nodes. Okay, I've got all my little sticks now to grow. These would do really well in a prop box, but I am just going to do water propagation and pop them all in together and see how many of them take root. So I have this tiny little Scindapsus propagating, which has grown an excellent root system, and I've just put all the little cuttings in there. So it looks a bit funny now, but hopefully new foliage will grow and so will roots.